Have you ever thought, I just need to up my money game? I'm tired of worrying about money. I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. Or maybe you make a ton of money, but you don't have much to show for it, and you're constantly getting into debt. All of us have money struggles, and today we're going to talk about money, and I'm going to give you 3 steps that I took to go from food stamps to 6 figures. I love talking about money. I think it is an area where so many of us need to empower ourselves more so that we can thrive in every area of our life and business. If you are here for the first time, I'm Dr. Amanda Barrientez, the founder of NFA Coaching and the host of the Max Potential Habits podcast, IGTV, and YouTube channel. I want to start out with giving a shout out to Self-Improve 99, who left me a raving review. It says, super helpful. I've been working with Amanda's recommendations and techniques for over a year, and they have been extremely helpful. If you listen, there are some great tips and exercises that will really help you grow if you put them into practice. Thank you, Self-Improve 99. I don't know exactly who you are, but I love the love and I appreciate you all being here. Please, if you're getting tips, advice, transformation out of this podcast, leave a review. It helps me so much. Have other people find me. It's got to be on iTunes. If you don't have a Mac or an iPhone, that's fine. Just Google it. You can leave reviews there. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 steps to go from food stamps to 6 figures. A little bit of my backstory. I had a horrible poverty consciousness mindset for most of my life until the last few years. I really had this idea that wealthy people were kind of these fantasy beings who had it all figured out, or they were just given the money, and that was their life and mine was different. When I was in grad school, I had 3 kids. I was a single mom. My kids went back and forth some between me and my ex-husband, but I had full-time kids living in the house. I slept on the floor on a mattress because I wanted to make sure they had bedrooms. There were times that I was so worried about money. I thought about money probably 100 times a day, and that is no joke. Every time something came up, it was like, oh, that's related to money. Do I have enough money to travel? No. Beans and rice, how can we spice them up fancy to make it be the same meal over and over again and not feel the same? I ate beans and rice literally every day for years. I constantly worried, like, what if my car breaks down? What if my kid falls down and I don't have money to pay for it? I mean, on and on and on. When you are in survival mode in money, it is terrifying and frustrating. I felt stuck. I felt hopeless. I didn't know what to do. And I know that some of you listening probably are not in that place. It's pretty rare to be on food stamps. For those of you who are listening, it might not be. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. For me, it was a place of shame. I would go to the grocery store and I would walk up and down the aisle with the cart, and I would look at the checkers and try to find the one that I felt like I would have the least shame going to with my food stamps card. And, you know, it's a card. It looks like a credit card, but everyone knows. And I felt so much shame around it and so much fear and sadness and stuckness. And so one of my quests when I stepped into coaching world was to figure out money. It actually transformed into that. I stepped into coaching world for myself through my broken relationships and trying to become better at relationships. And I ended up discovering that as you raise your self-worth, your net worth grows. And I want to give you the 3 simple steps I took. And this can work for you no matter where you're at in the game, whether you're making 6 figures already or whether you are really struggling. These are tips that can help you just up level from wherever you're at. The first one is that I want you to examine your money story. What are your beliefs around money? I call this your money operating system or your money OS. It's the downloaded blueprints that we get from our family, our friends, our teachers, religious leaders, TV, as we're growing up about money. It's like a blueprint that operates and an operating system that operates in the background and has bugs in it and viruses that you need to start to explore, because whatever is unconsciously running your money OS is going to show up in your adult life and shape your net worth. So you've got to start examining your money story. Some things to ask yourself. I have a whole course that I created and I'm actually revamping it to be $97 so anyone can take it, and I'll help you break down your money story in that course. But one thing that you can do to just ask yourself a quick question is write down the statement, wealthy people are blank, and see what comes up for you. Money is blank. Start to examine your belief system around money, because many of us think wealthy people are greedy, wealthy people are jerks, wealthy people just got it handed to them. Whatever it is that your money beliefs are is going to shape the way that you operate with money now. It's going to shape your money relationship. So if you're not where you want to be in the money world, you've got to examine your money beliefs and start to reprogram your money OS. Number 2, I want you to raise your value on wealth building. What does that mean? It means that when you look at your day, you look at your life, you look at your business, you never focus on money other than worrying about it, it means you don't have a high value on money. Have you read one book in the last year on money, specifically on money? Have you asked people who are where you want to be in the money world about how they got there? If you're not doing those things, it's unlikely that your wealth building is on your high up on your value system, which means you're not going to take very much action to shift. You've got to raise your value on wealth building if you want to ever get out of the situation you're in and or build your wealth to where you want it to be. For me, I shifted it to the top. I'm on food stamps. I'm freaking tired of this. I don't like being in survival mode. And I started reading every single book I could. I started hanging out with wealthy people. I started doing what it took to get to those coaching events where I knew I was going to start to tap into a new network of people who knew how to make money, because I want to make money. I want to serve powerfully and get paid well to do it. So that's one of my big goals, is to be a multimillionaire and have a multi-million-dollar global company that impacts millions of lives. You can do that too. And number 3, I want you to change your habits. This seems obvious. Obviously, this is the Max Potential Habits podcast. And a habit is a repeated pattern of thoughts, decisions, and actions that over time becomes automatic. That's my definition of habits. If you are not in the habit of tracking your money, knowing your net worth, being conscious of how you're spending, setting up automated savings accounts, talking to your partner about money. Money is a huge problem for a lot of relationships. If you're not looking at the long-term picture and you're only living for pleasure in the moment, it's going to be hard for you to build your net worth. It's going to be hard for you to start that business you want to start because you're going to be scared about the money stuff if you don't even know where you're at. So you've got to diagnose before you can prescribe. So start tracking your money. When I started this process, I had an app on my phone and I literally checked every single penny that I spent, and it helped me raise awareness about the places where I was spending money that didn't matter and the places where I could start funneling that into stocks, investments, savings, and start to shift my money patterning and my money habits. So those are 3 simple tips. Obviously, I have a ton more information, but I want to just have you give you some really quick takeaways today. So examine your money story, number 1. Number 2, raise your value on wealth building. Go buy a book about money today. There are a ton of resources. DM me if you want some. There are so many great money books out there. You're a Badass at Making Money is hilarious, awesome, great, powerful. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Those are a couple to get started with. Powerful books that will change you. Worthy by Nancy Levin. Awesome book, incredible, about raising your self-worth. So there's a few resources right there for you. And then number 3, change your habits. Today, start tracking and start an automated savings account that you put money into every week. I don't care if it's $5 to start with, just start the habit. You can do it. I know you can do it because I've done it and I've helped other people overcome their blocks and their fears around money so that they can transform their habits around money. And this goes for wealth shame too. It doesn't go for if you're just down in the dumps in survival mode. If you're examining your money story and you have some wealth shame, start to think about that. What do you believe about yourself about money? Let's say you make a lot of money and you feel shame around it. Start examining your money story. Raise your value on wealth building so that you know you deserve every penny of that money, and change your habits around your actions and thoughts for yourself about money. So there's a quick tip for wealth shame. Hope you have an incredible day where you thrive and feel alive. I'll be back next week. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you're liking this podcast, help spread the word by subscribing, sharing, leaving a rating and a review. To connect, go to nfacoaching.com, where you can join the Max Potential Habits community and get access to all of my free and paid resources. There's daily inspiration on Instagram, IGTV videos, access to the Max Potential Habits LinkedIn group, and links for working with me in the live weekly Max Potential Habits online group training, the NFA Money Magnet Habits online course, and if you're really serious about taking it to the next level, you can also schedule a Max Potential coaching consult. Until next time, I hope you have a NFA day where you thrive and feel alive.